My message to the losers: losers, look in the mirror. No? Well, maybe you should. Sorry. Well, that's my feeling. I want to talk about Whoopi Goldberg because I got so many texts this week because she attacked me the week before.
Sure.
So she was, I wrote, it was like, oh, Bill, I get you're enjoying the karma. Stop saying that Whoopi Goldberg getting yanked from The View right after she attacked me on The View is karma. There's no such thing as karma. Sorry. Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious. And black people can't afford to indulge rich white people's need to endlessly flagellate themselves. They just want prices to go down and good jobs and the police when you call them.
Well, if he's right, then why didn't people vote for the former prosecutor who actually had policy plans to help the working class?
Renowned comedian and writer Bill Maher has been calling out The View for years, and he hasn't stopped exposing their contradictions. In his latest show, he dropped a bombshell that left them fuming. Before we dive into the details, don't forget to like and subscribe. Unlike The View, Maher isn't afraid to stand by his beliefs, but maybe it's time for them to take a long, hard look in the mirror.
About the whole show, the winners, the losers. My message to the losers: losers, look in the mirror. No? Well, maybe you should. Sorry. Well, that's my feeling. Losers, look in the mirror, okay? You know, for months, Democrats have been saying, how is this even close? And they're right, it wasn't. They could not conceive of a second Trump term, but they should have. When does America ever turn down second? I mean, come on.
The ladies of The View were visibly squirming in their seats, scrambling to dig up dirt on Bill Maher. But their attacks? They didn't land. Instead, Maher fired back harder, using his signature sharp humor to shut them down. Just watch how he responded when they pressed him on how Trump would deliver on his promises amid the surge of millions of immigrants.
To do now, they won. Now they have reality they have to deal with. You know, we'll see what they do. See if they live up to their word. Trump says he's going to deport 12 million people. How are you going to get 12 million people back into Mexico? And today Trump said, I'm way ahead of you. Why do you think I left so many holes in the wall?
With comments overwhelmingly conservative, many praised Bill Maher for his optimism and for standing firm in his beliefs, especially as frustration with Democrats grows. Maher didn't hold back, taking direct shots at other late-night hosts, mocking their claims that they would leave the country, only to find the Mexico border closed. But this was just the beginning. He then called out The View and other left-leaning media for their failure to take accountability on a major issue.
I saw Kamala was on Saturday Night Live, as the losing candidate often is. It worked so well for Hillary. Let's run that back. You're brats and you're snobs, and people don't like that.
That's the propaganda they pushed. And if you need proof, just look at how The View's co-hosts fell silent after Bill Maher shared his opinion live on air. Remember, it was Sonny who first brought up the issue, but Maher's sharp response completely flipped the argument on her. The moment was so shocking that the audience was left speechless. So much so that not even a single clap followed.
Israel 5 times, they've started 5, and you don't know how to do that. I assume the Israeli Of course, everybody is, but that's what happens in a war. Here's a way to stop that. Stop attacking Israel.
Just look at how Whoopi and Joy were completely shocked, like they were in a state of disbelief. What they're missing here is that Bill is making a valid point. It's not about left or right, he's simply presenting the right way to stop war. But if you listen closely, he points out that their administration is at fault for this issue, and instead of working to stop the war, they escalated it further, and yet they criticize Trump when he pushes for peace. Now take a moment to hear Bill Maher's thoughts on free speech.
Last week, Ira Glasser, former longtime head of the ACLU, talking about free speech. Whoopi Goldberg, who, by the way, I hope is still a friend, we can disagree with each other, should not be canceled or put off her show, as much as I totally disagree with her crazy statement. Free speech. She should be there. She shouldn't get a timeout.
Not every single thing has to be for everybody.
Right.
We can have platforms that have stuff on them that not everyone on that platform or who consumes stuff on that platform enjoys. And The View is a particularly weird place to do a cancellation.
It's called The View?
It's called The View. It's not called The Facts.
Yeah, but isn't it interesting that it's called, I mean, I don't think they meant this when Barbara Walters invented it a long time ago, but it's The View.
Well,
that's the problem in America.
But
there is one view,
right, and
one
that's clearly
true opinion, and everybody else can go sit in the corner.
That's correct.
They took the wrong stance. They should have been seated in the corner. This is a tough truth for the left to accept because for them, the only acceptable opinion is their own, relentlessly pushed on their echo chamber talk shows. Debate and differing perspectives should be part of the conversation. But The View has no tolerance for that. When Bill Maher called out Whoopi for being wrong, he didn't say she should be silenced. He simply held her accountable. And that's exactly what they couldn't handle.
Have a very different opinion. And the answer is not to make them sit in a corner for 2 weeks. That is insulting. It's so insulting to make a 65-year-old, I mean, the person at ABC News said, I've asked her to take time to reflect and learn about the impact of her comments. Reflect. How insulting for someone of her age, who's a sophisticated person, and the impact of her comment. There is no impact. There aren't neo-Nazis waiting for the green light from the lady on The View to go out and do a new crystal knot.
So right. And the whole point of free speech is we don't need free speech when we're right, when everyone agrees with us. We need free speech when we're wrong. We need free speech to make mistakes. We need free speech to say really unpopular things. And one of the reasons I'm always proud to come on this show, and I suspect you feel the same way, Catherine, is this is the only space left on television where people can speak freely and not be terrified, right? And you have,
Exactly. The View has built a reputation for shutting down dissent rather than engaging in real debate. Have you ever seen them allow a moment like this to unfold without interruption? Of course not. And chances are, your grandchildren won't either. Just watch how they react when someone dares to challenge their narrative. It's either instant hostility or an awkward pivot to avoid the discussion altogether. Next voice, next voice. It's the same cycle. The View shuts down any perspective they don't like. Bill Maher called them out, and instead of debating, they deflected. Why is open discussion so hard for them? What do you think? Is it fear of real debate or just keeping their echo chamber intact? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.